begin sharing my screen. Can everybody see the presentation mode? Okay, so then let us begin. Welcome everyone to the fourth day of the Cambodia Waste Summit 2020. Thank you very much for joining today. A special welcome to the team of the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung and of the GIZ who are on the line. My name is Aurora Rios from BlackForest Solutions. I will be moderating today's session with the topic of hazardous waste and its challenges. Before we begin, I would like to kindly ask participants to observe some guidelines that we would like to suggest so that everybody can enjoy the summit as much as possible. If you haven't already, please mute your microphone so that we can avoid any background noise and can hear the presentations with the best possible quality. If there are, or in order to ensure that the network is not overloaded, please stop your video sharing and only turn it on when you're speaking or discussing. And please note that the contact information of the organizers and of our panelists will be available throughout the presentation. Feel welcome to take note of that and initiate contact if you wish to do so. And last but not least, please use the chat function of Zoom to let us know about your questions or comments. We'll be looking at it throughout the session. Having said that, I would like to give the floor to Dr. Bianca Untitled.
Thank you, Aurora. On behalf of GIZ and the German Business Group in Cambodia, I would like to welcome you to the third panel of the third session of the European Circular Economy Business Panel and Matchmaking event. My name is Bianca Untitled. I'm from Germany, and on behalf of German Development Corporation, I'm currently working at the German Business Group Cambodia. I also would like to thank Konrad Adenauer Foundation and ComPet for giving us the opportunity to host this panel as part of the Waste Summit. As mentioned, it's the third session already, the second today. Unfortunately, we do not have as many participants as in the prior session, but I think maybe it's because of the topic, hazardous waste. People in Cambodia, plastic waste, you see it everywhere, but hazardous waste is often not so visible. But it's a very important topic actually in Cambodia. I would like to thank our speakers, to Martin and Adam. And if you can go to the next slide, please. I would just like to explain a little bit why we've organized this panel and matchmaking event. We are all aware of the high amount of untreated waste in Cambodia, and Germany is one of the market leader when it comes to waste management or recycling technologies. We've learned that it's a very huge and powerful economic sector, and definitely the levels of Germany and Cambodia, they differ quite a lot, but we think that the experiences made in Germany and the technologies provided by German companies could also be, at least partly be transferred to Cambodia. For that reason, we've organized this panel. It should serve as an ideas generator, and we would like to facilitate a matchmaking between Cambodian stakeholders and German or other European private companies. And lastly, I would like to mention that German Development Corporation supports waste management solutions in Cambodia. On the one side, it's quite a new topic within German bilateral development cooperation in Cambodia, but soon 2 new projects will start to reduce single use of plastic. I've just seen that my colleague Frank Jatke is online. He will be the project leader of these 2 projects, focusing on the reduction of single-use plastic and its litter into rivers and oceans. And I would like to mention that German Development Corporation provides different kind of support services specifically to the private sector. So if you as a company, a German company, another European company, or even a local company, if you are interested in setting up a pilot project, for instance, to treat hazardous waste in Cambodia, then it could be supported either technically or financially by German Development Corporation. And if you can go to the next slide. As mentioned, it's the third session. The last one focused on the extended producer responsibility system. We had lively discussions. Now we will discuss how hazardous waste can be treated in Cambodia, maybe, or what can be transferred to Cambodia. Tomorrow we will have 2 sessions again tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning in Germany about different concepts, how to separate and collect waste, and to showcase digital tools, how we can create awareness amongst the society, and how the informal sector can be integrated in circular economy approaches. Actually, that was a topic that was very lively discussed in the former session on the EPR system. So as mentioned, it should serve as an ideas generator for specific pilot projects. Maybe it should serve as a matchmaking between Cambodian stakeholders and German and other European companies. And I hope that this session, although there are not so many participants, will be very interesting for you, and would like to go back to Aurora. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Untitled, for this introduction. This puts into context for the participants of the second session what our topic today will be, which is how to tackle the challenging aspects of hazardous waste treatment. We will have 3 speakers, and today, thank you all 3 for joining. We will begin now with a presentation from Mr. Martin Pakulat from Remondis. Mr. Pakulat has many years of experience in international hazardous waste treatment, especially when it comes to mercury. I will let him then continue with his content. Welcome, Martin. The floor is yours. I believe you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. A very good morning here from Germany. It's wintertime started this morning with 0 degrees Celsius, and winter is to come here in Germany. My name is Martin Pakulat from Remondis, and greetings to Cambodia. I will talk about not recycling. I will talk about disposal of, because challenging aspects of hazardous waste treatments do not always refer to recycling. Most of the treatment aspects regarding the hazardous waste business, they have to do with disposal of this waste. And it's a metallic mercury I would like to talk about. And maybe we can start with a second slide, Aurora. I would like to tell you something about the Remondis group for all the people who heard this name today before. Remondis belongs to the RecyGlo group, which is a family-run company, which is quite common in Germany. So we are not stock listed. We are not depending on banks. We are independent on the financial part, on the financial market. Remondis within the RecyGlo group is the waste management part of the company. Our sister company, the Rios Logistics, is a worldwide operating transport and logistics company, and also Saria, who are trading in bio industries. You see, even though we are a family-run company, we are not a small one. Employees more than nearly 80,000 people working worldwide. most of them, of course, in Germany and in Europe, but we also have subsidiaries, plants, branches all over the world, and especially the Remondis and the Rios, have plants mostly in Europe, in South America, as well as in Asia and China. Next slide, please. Aurora. And on this, you can see what is our business model. Of course, I know that many of the participants taking part in this summit are interested in what can we do here in Cambodia. What is possible to learn? What can you learn from other companies' best practice? Our business model is a little bit different because we deal with one of the most hazardous waste ever. We are disposing of mercury waste and metallic mercury. And as that needs lots of experience and know-how and technology, our business model is to collect the waste local and treat it central in Germany. That means here at the Remondis QR, which I will present to you in the next slides later. So this is our business model. So collecting the mercury waste wherever it occurs, as in America, in Europe, in Southeast Asia, in China. It makes sense using the Basel Convention to transport, to ship these hazardous waste with containers with special mercury containers in sea containers or drums in sea containers. And therefore, we have companies working with us, helping us as field service companies. Such a company is BlackForest. We work together with them. And this is a good cooperation ship to organize the collection of the mercury waste, of the metallic mercury abroad in the foreign countries, and bring it for appropriate disposal of, and finally, for stabilization and disposal of to Germany. So we do support our customers with all the paperwork, and we have the technology here in Germany and the expertise and guarantee for sure the environmental sound waste management of the metallic mercury and the mercury waste, and of course proper condition paperwork which we need because we have this Minamata Convention, we have European mercury regulation regarding the disposal of the mercury waste. We have this ban of mercury worldwide, and Next slide, please, Aurora. So here we start with some information about the Remondis QR. Remondis QR, we are the group's mercury specialist with 2 plants in Germany. I'm sitting here at the moment in Dorsten, which is in the western part of Germany, close to Düsseldorf or Cologne, you maybe know. And we have another plant in Lübeck, which is close to Hamburg in the north of Germany. These both plants of the Remondis QR is for quicksilver recycling. What is maybe a little bit confusing because I mentioned we are disposing of metallic mercury. We do this, but recycling is also a very, very small aspect. And we do this recycling mostly in Lübeck for waste from Germany and from Europe. And we are allowed to resell within the Europe. But the most business, the international business, we do in Dorsten. Our customers are mostly from oil and gas, chemical companies, mining companies, as well as waste management companies from all over the world. And yeah, here in Dorsten, we have 3 facilities: the Rotary Kiln, a vacuum mixer, and a vacuum tube kiln, which I would like to present you on the next slides. Let's start with the Rotary Kiln, and the next slide, please, Aurora. The Rotary Kiln, one slide back, please. Yeah, the Rotary Kiln. Most people who hear Rotary Kiln, they think of incineration. I hope all of you can see the slide. At least I can do it. Okay, I continue. Rotary Kiln is a distillation process. It's not an incineration process. Our Rotary Kiln is 8 meters long, 2 meters diameter, and directly gas-fired. It's a distillation process, and some chemical information. The evaporation point of metallic mercury is at 357 degrees Celsius. That means all the materials that enter the Rotary Kiln, such as mercury-contaminated soils, sludge, catalysts, activated carbon, also button cells. We heat the material and up to, well, 800, 900 degrees of Celsius, also to break all the other contaminations, but also to evaporate the metallic mercury from this main waste. So the mercury, the metallic mercury, goes into gas phase, and this is the distillation, this is the separation process that takes place in our Rotary Kiln. You find catalysts, especially at oil and gas companies, activated carbon as well, oil and gas industries, chemical industries, soil and sludge. You find mercury always at remediation projects worldwide. And the Rotary Kiln is a continuously process, and the parameters we have is the temperature and the speed, depending on the contamination of the mercury contaminated waste. So far, the Rotary Kiln. Next slide, the vacuum mixer, quite an interesting technology. In vacuum mixer, we stabilize metallic mercury into mercury sulfide. So from the hazardous metallic mercury, the hazardous waste, we convert it into metallic mercury, into mercury sulfide, and the mercury sulfide we finally dispose of in an underground storage. The mercury sulfide is non-hazardous, it's not water soluble, it's a powder, it's a red powder, and this is the one we can finally dispose of in an underground mine here at in Germany. The legal regulations we have to follow was the Minamata Convention, is the metallic, it's the European mercury regulation, and of course we need a Basel Convention, so for the transshipment of the hazardous waste from one country to another country. So at the moment, I'm really not sure what industries can generate mercury in Cambodia. You always find it in tube lamps. You always find it mostly still in batteries, thermometers, blood pressure instruments. If you have oil and gas industry in Cambodia, you also must have oil and gas, in catalysts, in activated carbons. And yeah, in the Minamata Convention, there is a ban on this waste, and most of the authorities worldwide becoming more and more aware of that issue of the metallic mercury, of its hazardousness. And so you can there are also lots of aspects which might be useful to have a look on it, and to make also Cambodia cleaner, and to get away with the mercury. We've already surely treated waste from Southeast Asia. We had lots of projects from oil and gas companies, and yeah. Next slide, please. Aurora. This is the vacuum tube kiln. It's also a distillation process for yeah, mostly soil and sludge, which is generated in decontamination project within the oil and gas industry. This vacuum tube kiln is especially made for waste with hydrocarbon and flash point. Within the Rotary Kiln, I explained 2 slides before. Surely you can't treat hydrocarbon and flash point containing mercury waste, because we have the direct incineration, we have the fire, the direct fire, and so we need a special treatment technology, and this is the vacuum tube kiln. So it's not a direct flame we have here. We have a thermal oint around the tube, which is heated, and we have an under pressure of 50 millibars, so we don't need that temperature, which we need in the rotary kiln. So you see here in Dorsten, we have technologies for mostly all types of mercury-containing waste from the big industries, from oil and gas industries, from mining industries, from chemical industries. And yeah, that was just a short introduction about the Remondis QR. And we've prepared a video which explains you how we work together with other companies. In the video we will show you later, it's about one of our business partner. It's a waste management company, for example, in Guatemala, a company called Repelsa. They have the contact to their customers. They have yeah, the waste, and we work together with them. We work together with BlackForest to dispose of mercury contaminated waste from other countries. So in this video, you learn the approach we have: collect the waste local and treat it central here in Germany. Aurora, may I ask you to play the video, and to the others, yeah, enjoy the video.
Okay, I hope you can see my screen now. I will start.
So there's no sound, Aurora, there's no voice.
Sorry if the audio wasn't playing as properly. I hope you could still read the subtitles and see the rest of the video. Okay, back to the presentation.
Yes. Yes, thank you. So we are at the very, very end of my presentation. I think the last slide is just my contact data. Yeah, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you maybe have a better understanding of mercury waste, or of a feasible way to dispose of metallic mercury waste. And well, I just see a question from Sebastian. Sebastian, thank you. You were asking how the finance of the disposal is organized. Well, this is always a very, very tricky issue. Most of the projects we have, it's the waste producer who has to pay for the disposal of the mercury waste, of the mercury contaminated waste, as well as for the metallic mercury. So we are also currently have some United Nations projects where we are looking for new financing models, the so-called GEF, Global Environmental Funds. There also might be some possibilities to find solutions. So every country itself is different. For example, in South America, we have different financing models than in Europe or in Southeast Asia.
Thank you, Martin. There
There's not
are some more
to
questions.
recycle mercury contaminated.
Oh, sorry. I think we have a time phase. Excuse me. Please continue.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Katrin asks about the use of environmental friendly recycling mercury contaminated waste in the country where it occurs. We often receive this question, but mostly the amounts of waste that occurs in some countries are not big enough. Our business model is useful regarding environment and financing, especially for smaller and smallest amount of metallic mercury waste. There also exist other approaches in the market. For example, if you focus on oil and gas, you can go with your technology to that areas where you have lots of oil and gas waste. For example, in Australia, that really makes sense. But if you have to organize the management of small or smaller amounts of metallic mercury waste, and let's say 20 or 100, maybe also to 500 tons of mercury waste, from my point of view, is small amount. It does not make sense to bring technology or to build up technology in the country of occurrence of the mercury waste. We always have this question, what is more environmental friendly and better regarding the payment of finance. But we decided we go this way, we go this business approach, collect the waste central and treat it locally here in Germany, because especially the treatment, the disposal of metallic mercury is not that easy. It's very tricky. It needs well-educated people and very sophisticated technology. I hope I answered your question, Katrin.
Thank you, Martin.
Any more questions?
Another question.
You're welcome.
Have you already treated hazardous waste from Southeast Asia before?
Yes, we did so, as I mentioned, maybe I was too fast or there was an interruption. We had a big project, a big oil and gas project in Thailand with a big oil and gas company there, and that was quite a big amount, a huge amount of waste. We talked about nearly 800 tons of spent catalyst and mercury contaminated sludge, and yeah, we organized this with our approach. We collected local in Thailand, shipped it to Germany, and stabilized and disposed of the metallic mercury waste here in Germany. So this is just one example, and we had several more experiences with Southeast Asia. We've got good connections with sea companies. We've got BlackForest as field service partner in this area, and yeah, we have a good track record on this.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for expanding on this project. Perhaps the question was meant whether the treatment itself, even if it's tricky mercury, has taken place on site, if there have been actual treatment steps in Asia.
So sorry, I didn't catch this question, Aurora.
Well, it went in the lines of whether the treatment itself, not only preparation for shipment, but any treatment steps had taken place in Asia on site before being taken to Germany.
No, that doesn't make sense. So because the types of waste the various types of waste are not that big. So if you remember the slides, for example, the slide with the Rotary Kiln, you can see it's always the same type of waste. Yeah, it's carbon activated, it's sludge, it's catalysts. You can fill it in drums, and that's the best way. So you don't need pre-treatment steps in the country of origin. As well as you have blood pressure instruments, thermometers, rectifiers, or metallic mercury itself. This is the material we bring to, especially the devices we bring to our plant in Lübeck. There is no need for pre-treatment. Yeah, only a good packing. This is this is an important thing for the transport. Yeah.
Okay, that is helpful. So in Cambodia, it would be in any case sensible to have trained personnel who know how to carefully pack and prepare these residues for their transport. Okay, I do not see any more questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very much, Martin, for your very interesting presentation. To all participants, you're welcome to take note of the contact information of Mr. Pakulat. The next presentation will expand on hazardous waste treatment, especially regarding the mining industry and whatever recycling options may arise there. I would like to warmly welcome Mr. Adam Viqa from the Viqa Group, who has over 30 years of experience in production and specialized services in these industries. Thank you, Mr. Viqa, for joining us. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you having us here, and hello to everyone. Viqa Group is a group with different companies all in recycling solutions, and we we treat different we recycle different materials, hazardous and non-hazardous waste. So Viqa Group in the UAE, we are since 15 years here. We are the pioneer in recycling. We have over 300 employees in the UAE. Basically, we come from Germany. Our mother company, AWR Abbruch, is in Germany, Koblenz. And we are one of the biggest demolition company and recycling company in Germany. So in the UAE, we have different sectors in the recycling. We have started in the beginning over 10 years ago with the landfills. We have tried to make a solution, which in that time definitely was very difficult because it was not so far, the government was not so far to take in the hand and to recycle the materials. The matter was landfill, doesn't matter what. So we have reached a lot in the past 10 years, and we have fixed in all the landfills over UAE. We have over 9 recycling plants, first for the C&D waste and other waste, which we are selecting through the picking stations, all kinds of plastic, wood, and we create markets which has never been there before. We create market which we are the good, the recycling goods, like plastic, wood, and other stuff, selling in the market, in the national market, also international market. And the C&D waste, the solid waste, minerals, like concrete, sand, and all this, we crush, screen, and we have developed a market which has never been before here. Aggregate, different aggregates for different solutions in concrete, in hollow block factories, and cement industry. We have done by the lot of factories, industries like steel industries, like aluminum industries. We have done a lot of stuff. We have create a solution for them to not throw it everything to the landfill. We have stopped this. So as you can see here in the Viqa Group companies is Viqa Recycling, which is based in Northern Emirates, in Al Kuwain. There we have an incineration plant. We have a chemical plant there, and we have a neutralization plant of chemicals. So in Al Kuwain, in the Viqa Recycling, we do medical waste and other hazardous waste, whatever can be incinerated. We have there four incinerators with a capacity, daily capacity, 13 ton, 10 to 13 ton. So, and also so after the incineration, which we get on the ash and slag, also for that we have found a solution which we are going processing again the fly ash and the slag after taking lab analysis and things. Then the fly ash is going to the cement factories, successfully used there as a co-product. So and the slag going to the crushing plant, to the recycling plant, and mixing with other aggregates. Of course, in portion depends on the lab test reports. So then we have VIMI, which is in Abu Dhabi region, and there we have a big plant basically for for C&D waste, construction demolition waste, but also for contaminated soil and contaminated waste from different industries, which we are dematerializing, and we have biological treatment through injection, and thus we are turning again, we are diluting as far as possible. We are getting all the materials what is possible to make a treatment, and we turn again to a product. So Sebastian, to your question, yeah, waste. I cannot. Can you make it bigger?
So the first question, Mr. Viqa, is how can a professional hazardous waste management be set up in Cambodia, for example, where the gate fees could be rather low?
Also, I can imagine that in Cambodia to bring a plant for the same waste which we are doing here, it would be, I think, similar. The waste which is going hazardous waste and chemical waste, as you can see in the schematic, we can fix the plant as well in Cambodia. The same. Definitely, waste cannot be recycled without payment, and has to be established like we have here in the UAE, that we have a gate fee, we have a manifest which we create, and this depends. We transport, we take the material, the waste to our plant facilities, or the waste generator, if he is permitted to transport the waste, he can deliver straight away to us, and then they have to pay accordingly a gate fee, which this gate fee is with the government, has been established together. That's definitely need to calculate the cost, the around cost, and this gate fee has to establish together with the government. That's what we have done here as well, and very successful since over 3 years at working perfect. So the waste to recycle definitely need payment, and this payment has to pay in general the waste generator. This depends, is the hospitals, is the industry, or clinics, etc., etc. So as you can see here, the process from the collection from the individual hospitals and industries, transported to the facility, stored in the proper store, in the chilled stores. We have medical waste, different chemical waste, which we are also incinerating different chemicals. So, and which you can see is stored in the proper way. After the incineration, we have the fly ash and the slag, which is be treated in the same area. Separated fly ash from the slag through our lab test, which they will done identify, okay, where can go, and the fly ash definitely we are successful, as I said before, sending to the cement factories, and the slag going to the aggregate facilities, to the C&D waste, and mixing in a small portion up to 5%. So, yeah, and how this is actually is a zero waste process. So we have in Emirkubin, also in the Northern Emirates, with the incineration of this kind of hazardous waste, we has eliminated 100% the waste. We have created, we turn to a product like the fly ash from the cement factories and the slag to aggregate.
Okay, so for our speakers to follow this correctly, you have stated there is a gate fee that is established in cooperation with other actors, for example, in UAE with the government. And later on, some small revenue can be made if working together with other industries, for example, the construction industry, and in this case, the cement factories.
Exactly.
May I ask, you mentioned excuse me.
Yeah, please continue.
You mentioned you have to issue a manifest. Could you expand on that?
Yeah. See, we have to issue in the UAE is everything is regulated from the waste generator, which they have to apply in our system, which in the system are connected the government, each government which is belong to that emirate or to that sector, and they have to apply. They have this much waste, so and they have to identify exactly what kind of hazardous waste they have, medical waste or pharmaceutical waste or chemical waste, however, and they have to fill the manifest. So the manifest will come then to us, which we will approve, and we say yes, we can handle. So, or if it's waste like now in case of mercury, which we cannot handle, but also we are working now very good with BlackForest, and I hope we can create the market and to solve also this problem with the mercury in the UAE. But in the manifest, they have to fill that one. It will come to us. We will accept, and then we will make the treatment as per the rules and regulation in the UAE government regulation, which are very strict and as per the Basel Convention. So in the manifest, it's secure that the material is coming, the waste is coming really to us. The transporter, they can't load anything else from the one waste generator. They cannot go to the second waste generator and take something else. They have to come straight away to us and to offload. That's what we have approved. So the government, and also after we have made the incineration treatment or diluting or neutralization, we issue a certificate to the government and to the waste generator. As has been done, how has been done, what we have done, everything is there, and which we are getting time to time from the government entities and government inspectors, which they control the documents, and which they can see really every kilogram how has been treated and where has been disposed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, the investment of hazardous waste, see, the question is here, depend on the quantity generated in Cambodia. The plant investment cost, there is no limit up, let's say from 3 million euro to 10 million euro. Yeah, depend on the facility, depend on the quantity, depend what we will handle. If we have to make the same facility like we have in the EU, in the Northern Emirates, then it will cost over 15 million euro. So all this we have, and us, that's what I have to mention, that we are also a family business. All the group is a family group. We are independent from the banks or partners. We are absolutely, since many generations, we are working without any bank capitals. Everything we are financing from our own. And in case of
Mr. Viqa, sorry to cut in,
yeah,
but now that you mentioned that, I think it would be really interesting if you could expand on the conditions under which Viqa would invest in a hazardous waste treatment facility in Cambodia, for example.
Again, come again? What again?
So now that you speak about capital and investment in treatment facilities, what would be necessary? Which conditions would be required for investing in a new hazardous waste facility in Cambodia?
Yeah, the most necessary things is that we, if we come there and invest, the important things is that we get exclusivity for this kind of treatment, hazardous waste, that we have a land from the government, of course, for free. We have water and power facilities at the site. The whole waste is guaranteed will come to us, and government has to be our partner. They have to guarantee the waste is coming to us and it's not going to the illegal dumping. To create a manifest, we will help on that. We are really very good, and we have created here, even for the transporter, to track them, that we know exactly when he load, when he will reach in our facility. To create a gate fee, which is the waste generator will pay before he deliver to us. He paid the gate fees, depend on his quantity he's going to deliver. This things has to be in place that we can make it able to invest such a facility.
Okay, I see. Thank you for commenting on these enabling aspects. Of course, it's necessary for the facility to have enough amounts of waste coming in for it to be a successful business case. And on the line of this, the gate fee you mentioned has to be transparently and previously established with the help of the government. In Cambodia, this would be important. Also integrating the manifest system, as you said, and as Mr. Pakulat mentioned before, that packaging, adequate transport, and documentation is taking place with these dangerous materials.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this information. I do not see any more questions on the chat, and because of the time, we need to move on with the next panelist. Thank you again, Mr. Viqa. Mr. Viqa's contact information is available to participants as well. We will be happy to connect any interested parties. Thank you
very much.
Now, moving on to the third and final section of today's second session. I hope you can see my screen. Yes, okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Okka Phyo Maung, from RecyGlo for joining today. So we've gone through mercury waste to mining or medical waste. Now we go we zoom out a little and go from a wider perspective. Mr. Okka will present his organization that is responsible for or that engages in recycling activities and sustainable tech in trading platforms and e-commerce trading aspect of this initiative as well. And we're very much looking forward to your presentation, Mr. Okka. Thank you very much for joining. The floor is yours.
Thanks a lot for inviting me. My name is Okka. Aurora, are you showing the slides?
Sorry, we can't see them at the moment. I'll begin again. Please let me know when you can see them.
I just see my name.
Ah, okay, perfect. Then I'll just move them.
Okay.
Should have changed now. Okay.
Yes, my name is Okka. I'm the co-founder of RecyGlo. So the name is very obvious. So recycling globally, we want to take care of all the last miles waste. You have recyclable, you have non-recyclable, you have chemical hazardous, you have different type of waste. But our mission is manage, recover, recycle before they end in the landfills or the oceans. So we not only work with the last miles downstream part, but we also work with the with our clients to focus on the reduce part, because we understand that not all the waste are recyclable. So we work with the educational programs, digital tools to educate the stakeholders, and also we also work with our host clients to do the behavioral change, so that like when you start buying the product, then you don't think about buying like one time off anymore. You think about buying reusable multiple times. So we are a Singaporean registered company, but we started this business. I mean, we mainly started this business in Myanmar. The reason is it is a very interesting place. You have around 53 million people, and it can also be 60 million people if all the people who are working abroad come back. So what we do in Myanmar is like everything is landfill. You build a landfill, when it's full, then you move to a different place, and they are not even the sanitary landfill. You just dump it. So it's just very polluting for groundwater. It's air pollution. So this landfill, you see, one of the biggest landfill in Myanmar. Recently there was a fire the fire was huge, and it was choking the city for the capital, the commercial capital city Yangon, for a significant amount of time. So we got really inspired by these events to make a change also. The next slide, please. Yeah, so this is our visions, missions, and purpose. So currently we have offices in Myanmar, in Singapore, and Malaysia. We are expanding into Cambodia and Indonesia as well. Particularly in Indonesia, we because of the market potential and because of our startup nature, we are providing all things. We're providing like all digital tools, solutions to our clients. So what we do is we basically connect our clients with all the stakeholder in the community. So our client has a very powerful solution that we already aggregated and presented to them. So for example, logistic for collections, also for infrastructure site like collection bins. Also we connect with the recycling facilities in around Myanmar. We also work with some of the Japanese, Europeans, and Korean recycler to be able to process some of the hazardous waste. Also, we provide LMS, learning management systems, to for our clients. Our clients can also understand and receive the data. So the reason that they buy our service is because we provide data to our clients, so they can see what's happening in their supply chain. So for example, how much weight they recycle for Unilever, and how where all the sachets are going, and where are the facilities, and what are the facilities that they are processing, especially for the multi-layer packaging. A lot of companies struggle to process those materials. So you can only recycle maybe PET, ACP, LDPE, or PP, but the rest is stay very challenging. So among the plastic part, only 20 to 30% are recyclable. We connect with all the stakeholders in the community. Next slide, please. So this is our main area that we focus. Of course, we focus on the downstream recycling part, but we also work with like reduce part and reuse part, design thinking approach, and refuse part as well, and repurpose. So if the product that we receive you cannot recycle, then we will try to repurpose it. So for example, we work with one of the Australian university, Macquarie University. So what we do is we are turning the e-waste battery from laptop and the cell phones into we connect with a series parallel into a small power stations in the dry region, rural area of Myanmar. So that power source can come from the solar, and it charges the power pack, and it produces electricity in the nighttime. It also allows people to cook. So it's like an e-waste to e-cook solutions. So that is one of the repurposed thing. So recycle is very, very simple. For recycling part, we use mostly mechanical recycling, but now we recently currently using the technology that recycle the non-recyclable plastic. So what do we do is we basically shred all the plastic part except some of the like PET foams, and we do the heat pressing. So you produce the plastic lamba that you can generate you can substitute the tree-based plant-based product. So you can use tiles, ceilings, floor. We're now currently making a lot of trash bins using those plastic lamba. So that is our recycle part. For reuse and reduce part, we connect with our platform that provide not only data but also the educational part. So when our clients subscribe to our service, they can see the whole supply chain movement. They can understand the user behavior, but at the same time, the employees and stakeholder can learn about carbon footprint, sustainability, carbon offsetting, piloting, carbon treaty. So all these sustainability stuff and content in our platform as well. They can also get certified individually, but also organizationally. Next slide, please. So this is just a brief. This doesn't cover all of it, but it's just basically what we do at the moment. So when the client subscribe, if you see in the left corner, the client has to segregate in detail. So you have consumer clients, you have business clients, or you have B2B2C clients. So we have B2C, B2B, or B2B2C clients. So those clients, what we do is we focus on the segregations. So they have to take LMS training from us, and then we provide different color-coded bins. The system is based on the Germany and Japanese coding system, so not exactly the same. We sort of like customize it, of course. So they have to segregate organic, non-organic, plastic, can, paper, glass, electronic, hazardous waste, all these stuff in detail, and they can all, of course, subscribe. Depends on the waste stream that they generate also, because we will provide a free auditing one time for any of the new inquiries, so that we understand, we will have a baseline data of how they are generating the waste. And of course, all these waste will be collected by 3PL. Yes, 3PL, so third-party logistic. So we have the hundreds and hundreds of trucks that are not owned by the RecyGlo, but it's operated individually. So we work with the truck owner, so they were collected, and then they were transported to the recycling facilities or repurposing facilities or organic farms where they will be making their natural fertilizer. So all these data will be captured using our blockchain technology. So we use the open source ledger. So when you collect the data, you register in the systems. When you just go to the next stations, you also register in the systems. So this has to be matched. Otherwise, the data, the platforms will not recognize the number that we put into. So it need to be matched exactly. So we don't have like fraud or data manipulations at that point. So our AI will provide you the reporting part for business clients, also for individual clients that are in compliance with the GI report. GI is the international standard for sustainability. That are also in compliance with the ISO 9001 quality management and 40001 environmental management and OCHAS OCHAS standard as well. And of course, if you are a listed company in Singapore, Nasdaq, Euronext, so you need to have some sort of disclosure agreement. The disclosure, particularly for the sustainability, then our reporting part, they can use it for all those company, or all the supplier of all those company, or the supplier of all those companies. So it's basically like helping them transparency of the supply chain. The next step is the like online reporting dashboarding service. They can just see it's like an analytic part, what's going, pie chart, bar chart, and an AI generated an analytical part, and they can download this and then they can use it on the mobile devices. So it is like a completely automation tools for the business clients. Of course, waste audit part, I mean, that we have already mentioned. It's like a free service for the client the first time. So we have a baseline data to serve to code approximately, also to serve our clients better. Of course, waste awareness training and workshop assessment. So trainings are done through the Udemy, Coursera, edX lifestyles. So contents are already generated by ourselves, then we deliver to them. Of course, the clients, if they demand additional service, we can also provide them as well. Waste to energy services is our latest development here. So what we do is we work with the local farmers. The local farmers have their space. And so we work with we provide end user financing model. So the farmers doesn't have the money to fix the space to provide the organic waste to energy or organic waste to fertilizer place. So one of the case study that we want to highlight is that facility in the rural area of Shan State in Myanmar was funded by the Responsible Business Fund, from the Danish embassy. So they got the money and they built the facility, and we also connect them with the businesses to be able to receive the organic waste. So the businesses can turn the organic waste into a natural fertilizer or biogas or electricity. And they got that facility for free. They also have received all the waste, and they can they can make extra money from that also. For us, we already take the service fees from our client as well. So it's a win-win situation for all the stakeholders. Next slide, please. So this is how it's look like. It's I think that it's easily replicable, maybe except the technological part, and also the scalable part. So educational part and segregations, and then using the blockchain technology to make sure that the data are correct, connect with 3PL and recyclings, and finally automated reporting. Thank you. Next slide, please. So we can now pretty much like recycle, maybe except some of the hazardous waste like mercury, we cannot do it yet. So we're trying to work with BlackForest as well to take some of the really hazardous waste from oil and gas industry. Maybe some of them are from FMCG industry. Or chemical industry, so we can complete the whole loop and a circular economy. Now we can do pretty much everything: paper, plastic, can, glass, organic waste, used cooking oil, electronic waste, batteries, and from animal waste, biogas, e-waste, eco technologies. So we use 5 main framework to process these these waste. So in Southeast Asia, it's not like in Europe, you don't have a lot of infrastructure. We don't have a lot of infrastructure. So what we do is we will make sure that existing infrastructure is aggregated. So the solution that we present, it's attractive for the clients, and we are accredited enough for them to give confidence to give confidence to them. Next slide, please. So yeah, so this is the color code that we currently did develop. Some are we customize a little bit, but the battery solution is it's a very interesting development that we have. I think it is very important. Like in this part of the world, we use quite a lot of dry cell battery for AC, for TV, but they are not disposed properly, or there is no place that we can dispose properly. So what happened is they usually end up in the streams or you know, just around the rivers. But they have a lot of mercury or lead or cadmiums or nickel. Okay, so yeah, so 50% on time left. Okay, thanks for the reminder. So well, we want to develop an affordable solution for everyone. So this box can have 5 kg, around 5 kg, and then people can purchase the box. So it is sort of like we are trying to use this as like EPR, extended producer responsibility. So we are now trying to wholesale to like all the big electronic producer like Samsung, Panasonic, LG. They can buy it and they can redistribute it back to the to the community also. So they will have a discount. But if you are a small company, you can also buy this box for less than around $100, and they can also receive a certificate. Also that can prove that how much carbon footprint that they have saved, or how much sustainability can be achieved this. So these things like are quite affordable. We're targeting for small and medium enterprises to do that. So this kind of thing we will be we are currently working with the European Slovenian based company to ship it to Europe, where they will process those dry cell battery. So yeah, organic waste barrels, we work with a lot of local facilities, and if community doesn't have the facility, what we do is we get the end user financing to build the infrastructure. So we work with the donors and international agency to provide a free facility for the community. Thank you. Next slide, please. So yeah, this is just the design. We behavioral change. We are. I mean, us. We didn't have like this kind of education to sort and segregate. Even to put in the bins, it's already challenging. So littering is quite common. So we have to have like a very innovative approach to persuade people to put in the right bins. So colorful, pictorial, easy to access designs. Design thinking is quite important. So we use those colorful bins to attract people to use this also. Next slide, please. So yeah, this is just this different size, different bins. So this one I want to mention about the product part. So all of our bins are made from the present of recycled product. So we collect it and we press it and we make new bins. Of course, we put the sticker also. Or a lot of them are made from the compressed styrofoams. So styrofoams are extremely difficult to recycle unless they are like purely styrofoam. Also, like they are very dangerous for the environment. So we just press it and then we make it into new bins again with these raw materials. Next slide, please. So yeah, training part, educational part, it's very important. We work with 100+ clients currently. It's growing like rapidly even in this difficult time, since we are providing essential service in this part of the world. And we really teach them how to differentiate different type of plastic, PET, HDPE. No one really know how can they segregate. Also, what sort of waste management system that they are having, how can they communicate with the municipal. if they have issues with the waste management. So we really become an educator in the community as well. Next slide, please. So yeah, I think the key to engage in the community, the key to work with the low income base of pyramid community, from the general land perspective, from climate change perspective, it is to make sure that we find the right incentive mechanism for them to use. Why they will be wondering why they need to pay for this kind of service, right? But then we need to explain, we are providing this and that, so they feel like they're actually getting more than they paid. So I think it's very important to provide and create new market by giving the perception that they are actually getting more than that they give. Also good for the environment as a side effect. Thank you. Next slide, please. So yeah, so I'll just quickly go through the. Aurora, can you quickly go through this? Like this is just paper. When we collected, paper, plastics, we work with hundreds of recycling facilities. Yeah, like different places. So yeah, like different recycled product, like metals, cans, glass. So if we can find a supplier, we do it. If not, we will get the end user financing model to build infrastructure for infrastructure. Or otherwise, if we cannot do it in the country, we ship it to the country with the infrastructure. So this slides, it's automated generated AI generated slides. So all the big guys, they want the data. So if we are we are serving like a McKinsey of data in this sustainability, but we get it like much cheaper price. So that's how we sell our brand values and the value to them. Yeah, next slide, please. So yeah, just a sample of the reporting part. It can be much more complicated. It depends on the subscription level, and they can see the percentage compositions and the supply chain data in that in the platform as well. Next slide, please. Yes, it's just so yeah, this one is it's automated. So it's very interesting. So we use algorithm. So algorithms it's a key way to digitize and to make it faster for processing of the data. I think in the future we are also now trying to monetize all those collected data, because we are a carbon surplus company. So with these carbon surplus and carbon footprint that we are saving, we are now trying to get into the carbon footprint market as well. So that we can, provide more support in the community and provide some, maybe even free or almost free services in some really poor area or rural area of South Asia. So yeah, just carbon footprint, reporting, automation part, the sampling. So this one, I'll stop it from after this. So this is our latest innovation of involvement of informal sector. Using the digitalization tools. So this app is called Oh My Trash. So this provide identity for those who are working in the informal sector. So also now we are providing insurance and the microfinance, so access to finance as well. And they can exchange point and credit. Also they can also perform to earn money. So basically, like they can collect the waste from the household area where we cannot have, where we find it difficult, financially challenging to go and access to stuff. But these informal sector, they can do that, but they are already doing it, and then they will sell it to their higher end of supply chain, to gen shop or recycling facility, where we also help them to aggregate those data as well. So this is more like a fintech, financial inclusion platform, but we digitize and give identity for those who are in the informal sector. So if you are talking about informal sector in South Asia, you have to include them as well. Otherwise, like you are sort of like destroying you are sort of like not believing in the do no harm policy. So that's what we do also. Yeah. So yeah, so that's about it. Thanks a lot for the time and for the opportunity.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Okka, for this interesting presentation. We have a couple of questions. You've touched upon the topics a little bit. So in the last 5 minutes, we'll try to quickly go over them. How does RecyGlo, how do you work together with the informal sector, as you mentioned just now, and with NGOs, for example, Plastic Free Cambodia and others who are already working on awareness creation?
Yeah, I mean, the private sector is it for a reason, and NGO is it for reasons. I think direct comparison it is always challenging, because NGOs, you rely on funding. It could be international grant financing, or it could be grant of the grant financing, um, uh, or somebody else, give the project, and then NGO do this. So NGOs are also very important. But I think for the long-term perspective, I think private sector intervention is also quite important. So Plastic Free Cambodia, they can do, let's say, 10,000 trainings a day, but maybe the target maybe rural area, more it can be customer segmentation, right? I mean, one person cannot solve the whole market. So private sector, it's here, that's how people come in. So if they want the trainings, educations, private sector, private sector can customize it for the client. But the non-profit sector, it can be a bit challenging to customize for the requirement. For example, if large FMCG like Unilever or P&G want to work with organizations that has the ISO 14001, 9001 certificate, NGO might not have those certificates. But we can provide these, and we can also provide data. So I think it is a completely different market. It's a different approach, and also like there's no like good or bad. I think collaboration.
So you're saying the more initiatives, the better. Then that there's a lot of work to do, and as many awareness campaigns as possible are all the better. Then.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, because NGOs are good at like campaigning. What we can do is we can private sector can do their policy. We can advise with the policy part and advocacy part. NGO can also do campaignings and marketing communications, also even with the advocacy part as well. And we can provide the solutions. So trainings are good, but you also need a solution. After people get educated, they will look for the bins, right, to segregate and to litter, to throw the waste. But if there's no solutions, but all those knowledge are not very effective.
Okay, thank you very much. Because of the time constraint, we go to one last question from Ms. Eitel. It's a very good question. So RecyGlo has presented the approach and different waste streams, some of them being hazardous as parts of electronic waste, batteries, to some extent oils. But what happens then, and this is Ms. Eitel's question, with materials with contaminated sites, with materials that are already present in the environment? The question is, can you imagine any cleaning treatments for hazardous waste that is already part of nature, or became already part of nature?
Are you asking me, or are you asking everyone?
Well, anyone is welcome to give an answer. Is this something you would have an opinion on? Would RecyGlo be active in site remediation or in already polluted sites?
Yeah, sure. I can have a quick opinions. So we also design the sanitary landfill. So we know a little bit about like landfill system. So what can we do is like if like some of the areas are already polluted, like I think mining area, like you have like really deep holes under the ground. So those area, I think when we close the mine, I think you already use it like in Europe and North America, and or even in East Asia. You can just put the stuff like nuclear waste, all the mercury, all the if you cannot find the solution.
It's 17 hours.
Sorry, it's you can always use it. So but But I think planning is very important, because if you build the landfill, and that is not a sanitary landfill, you will be polluting the environment like so much, and the groundwater will be polluted. So I think like municipal level, the public grassroots level, and the policymaker level, they need to think for at least for the medium term, even though it might be expensive, but it can be very, very good for the long term, and they can save the cost in the public health. They don't need to spend a lot of money on that in the public health as well. So yeah, you can always find you can be lean when you see a project or product or things, then you can find a solution that is localized, that is appropriate for the local market. And you don't, so that's how we as a startup, we have to be innovative, because this part of the world is very poor. So how can we be innovative and overcome this infrastructural challenge?
Correct, I see. Thank you very much for your presentation and for your answers to the questions. In the second session of the fourth day of the Cambodia Waste Summit, we've seen first the EPR, extended producer responsibility, related more to packaging, but that we know is also applicable to hazardous waste. And then our speakers today presented treatment options for the most hazardous of substances, or one of the most tricky to handle one's mercury. Then we followed with other approaches for other types of hazardous waste, like medical waste, construction waste, mining waste. And now we've had an overview, not so much from the industrial perspective, but rather than private enterprises and how they can have an impact on citizenship and their cooperation, how they work very closely with waste generators and also hazardous waste generators, as the inhabitants are. With this, I would like to thank very much all the participants for joining. Also, of course, a special thank you to our panelists and speakers from today, Mr. Pakulat, Mr. Viqa, Mr. Okka. Thank you all very much for your inputs here. I remind all the participants, please feel welcome to make use of the contact information that you hopefully took note of throughout these sessions. And I really hope that we will see you tomorrow, where we will present more information on digital solutions and other aspects of the waste management opportunities within the circular economy. Thank you all very much again, and see you soon, hopefully. Goodbye.
Thank you.